Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the MJ Hurley Show, presented by TDT Media and Area Insurance. Thank you for tuning in for another episode recorded in the middle of the night by MJ with producer Cy in the background. Thank you again, Cy. We'll see him later for some trivia. What we've got today, I'm going to talk about my favorite hater topic for the summer, which is hating on Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks, who got waxed at home by the Timberwolves tonight. Then we'll talk a little bit about some WNBA action because they are becoming more and more relevant. So I want to clear the air on some things and give my opinions on the ever so popular WNBA. And then we're going to end with everybody's favorite Empire, Angel Hernandez, and I will give my thoughts on him suddenly retiring today in the middle of an MLB season. So first and foremost, let's talk basketball. Let's talk Dallas Mavericks. They played Game 4 at home today against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Wolves won with 5. They won by 5. Anthony Edwards put up a 29-point triple-double. Very good performance. Outscored Luka. And I want to preface all of this by saying, because I get into some Twitter fights about Luka, right? I do not think Luka Doncic is a bad player. I do not think Luka Doncic is I don't think that he's horrible, right? Obviously, he's probably one of the top 15, probably top 10 players in the NBA. Talent-wise, he does some incredible things. Man has put up some amazing stats. I don't like when he gets MVP votes. I don't like when people talk about him like he should be the best player in the league. And we'll get to that in a minute. But what's been really interesting to me about this series is watching two teams who are built very differently. The Minnesota Timberwolves have 2 twin towers, right? With Rudy Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns, 2 7-footers, and they both play extremely differently. Karl-Anthony Towns is really a stretch 4, naturally. Rudy Gobert, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, solely plays in the paint, has no shot whatsoever, can barely even make a free throw, but is incredible interior defender. On the perimeter, very suspect. And so you have those two guys anchoring the bottom part of your lineup. Then you have Anthony Edwards, who is such a ball-dominant guard, has not really learned how to play off of the ball yet, like somebody like Steph Curry can. And I promise that's I'm not trying to make a point there. I may have Steph Curry in the background. I'm not trying to make a point. I promise. We'll save that for another day. Okay, the Warriors lost. The Warriors are out of it. I'm not trying to make that point yet. But yeah, Anthony Edwards really hasn't learned how to play off ball like that yet. And so if he wants to make an impact, honestly, similarly to how Luka Doncic is right now, he needs to have the ball in his hands. And you see that by their shooting numbers tonight. Ant was 11 for 25 of the field. So it takes 25 shots for him to get his 29 points. Luka Doncic, 7 for 21 from the field. A really bad shooting performance from the field with just 28 points and 10 of those points coming from the free throw line. So it's just a very different game that we're watching in the playoffs, and it's very interesting to see these two teams go at it. So then when you look at the Dallas Mavericks, the way they're constructed is they have their 2 offensive stars, and Luka and Kyrie in playoff games where you score around 100 are probably only going to score maybe 110 at the most. Luka and Kyrie are going to get you, and Sai, I see you I see your chat in the background. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Didn't mean it like that, but I see what you're saying. Hopefully nobody else caught that. Anyway, when you're only going to score like 100, 110 points, Luka and Kyrie are probably going to score 60 of them. And so really then it just becomes how much can you limit the other players on the team? And that's where Dallas has done really well in the playoffs. PJ Washington will wake up and give you 20. Daniel Gafford can give you 10 off the bench. They're just doing a lot better. Their bench actually providing some depth, actually providing some help, whereas that's not something Luka Doncic had in the past. That kind of brings me to my biggest argument against Luka Doncic, which is before he had Kyrie Irving, he was not going to win playoff series like this. You want to know why? Because at the end of the day, he's not conditioned. He's a defensive liability. And when it comes down to it, not only does he miss a key free throw, but you want to know how he ends this game at home in Dallas, a game they should have won. He ends it on the ground, underneath the Timberwolves basket crying to the officials because he didn't get a foul call with 0.2 seconds remaining in a game when he was up 5 when he was driving to the basket. You just made one of the most incredible threes I've ever seen in my life. Missed a free throw that would have given your team a fighting chance. And then when you do get the ball back, you are crying to the officials on the ground while the other team is celebrating and you're going back to Minnesota. Give me a break. Like, wake up and realize that when it comes to the playoffs, you're not getting those calls. I don't care who you are. Have you seen the defenses being played? Did you see the defense the Timberwolves played against the Nuggets in that last series? And you're telling me that you're complaining about the defense that's being played in this series. Like, grow up, okay? So that's my complaint when it comes to Luka Doncic, is just his inability to be the leader and the star on that team. Now, again, with all of that being said, I recognize that Luka Doncic is one of the better players in this league. He's putting up the numbers. He's going to go down as one of the better players that we've seen in a while. I just have a lot of personal issues with the way he plays the game. And I will admit, if he gets a ring, that'll do something for trying to change my mind on Luka Doncic. But right now, until I see him get a ring, until I see him be the true number one option on a championship team, it is going to be hard for me to talk about him like somebody who should be winning an MVP. Because you want to know why? I really don't think he's the most valuable player on that team. Right now, I think Kyrie Irving is the most valuable player on that team. You want to know why? Who do they go to in crunch time? The majority of the time, they're going to Kyrie. You want to know why? Because he's a better ball handler. He's a better finisher around the rim. Statistically, he's a better shooter. He's always been a better shooter than Luka. So I understand Luka can rebound. I understand Luka can pass the ball. But Kyrie Irving can do those things too. And you want to know why Luka is playing so well? Because Kyrie Irving is on the team. So if you want to give someone their flowers, give them to Kyrie Irving. If you want to give someone their flowers, give them to PJ Washington or Derek Lively or Derek Jones Jr. or any of the role players that weren't there during the previous times when Luka Doncic lost in the playoffs. We're like, oh, when is Luka going to get, when is he going to make it happen? When is he going to get that ring? He's going to get it when Mark Cuban and the Mavs put a really good team around him. This roster is constructed incredibly well. So let's give some flowers to everybody else on the team and not glaze on Luka Doncic like he's Tom Brady. That's all I got to say about that. But when somebody's attacking you like I attack Luka Doncic, you need to have some good homeowners insurance.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
And when you call Jeff Fortemny at 704-464-4544, make sure to let him know that TDT Media sent you, and he will take care of you on a little hometown discount for the homeowner's insurance. With that being said, next thing I want to talk about is there's been a lot of discourse recently surrounding the newfound popularity of the WNBA. And a lot of that discourse is surrounding basically the new face of the WNBA, who is Caitlin Clark. And so I want to talk about this because I understand, and even for myself, watching and learning about the WNBA is new for a lot of people. And again, that's new for even myself. I knew about the Sue Birds, the Diana Taurasi's, like I knew about those players in the past. But like, I still can't name a role player on any WNBA team. Okay. And, you know, hand up. I admit that. I fully understand that I may not be the person to talk about on this, right? Because my wealth of knowledge when it comes to the WNBA is not the same as any other professional sport, right? But here's what I do know. And Emmanuel Acho, is that how you pronounce his last name, Si? Emmanuel Acho? I think it's Acho. Talked about this the other day, and he gave some amazing statistics that the WNBA was already growing. it was already a sport that was on the rise in the United States. Caitlin Clark joining the WNBA has just taken it to an exponential rise, right? She's clearly already one of the best players in the sport. She's the only player right now that is top 10 in points, shooting percentage, and assists. She's the only player. And keep in mind, she went straight from a college season in which she went on an incredibly deep run in March Madness, and then turned around, got drafted, went into professional basketball. So she has had no time off and is performing better than almost everybody in the WNBA, and is also the face of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark has already secured charter flights for every team for the remainder of this WNBA season. She's doing things for this league that people never thought were possible for a women's professional sport in the United States. But what I'm getting is a lot of hate. And that's where I start to have an issue, is when I see just some outlandish comments about Caitlin Clark. One of them being, and this may border on a little bit controversial. I'm okay with that because we're going to talk about this and we're going to have some logic here. Okay. And I say this with all of the respect in the world to Caitlin Clark. I've actually heard people say that Caitlin Clark is only the face of the WNBA now because she's white and she's pretty. And, again, all respect to Caitlin Clark's boyfriend. I hope they're very happy. Caitlin Clark is not even close to the most attractive person in the WNBA. She's not even the most attractive person in her draft class. Okay? And the fact that she's white has nothing to do with that whatsoever. You want to know why? Because faces of the WNBA in the past have not been white. And you want to know why Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA? Because she's objectively the most exciting player to come into the WNBA in the last 20 years. If we are going to elect somebody the face of the WNBA because they were pretty, it would be somebody like Cameron Brink. Okay? And Cameron Brink is a really good basketball player. I think she's going to have a good career in the WNBA. But if we are going to elect somebody the face of the WNBA because they're white and pretty, it would be somebody like Cameron Brink. It might even be somebody like Angel Reese, who is pretty and black and doing amazing things for the Chicago Sky. Like, I don't understand the fact that we have to hate on Caitlin Clark because she's taking the WNBA to heights they have never seen before. I thought we were supposed to be happy for women's sports getting more attention. I thought we were supposed to support these women. But now all I hear is people dragging on Caitlin Clark for absolutely no reason. And I'm sorry, I don't see a single reason to hate her. She's nothing but respectful to media. She's nothing but respectful to her teammates, saying, hey, I understand I'm the new girl in town. Like, I may have been drafted number 1, all of these things, but I still want to do my due process. I'm not the captain of this team. This is not my ship. This is not my car to drive yet. Like, she has done everything the right way, and the majority of what I get in the media is ripping on Caitlin Clark. So, with all of that being said, please, just let these women go play basketball. Like, if we really want to watch women's sports grow, then I understand there's going to be criticism, right? With the more media you get, the more criticism you get. But let's not focus that on Caitlin Clark. Like, if she's got a bad game, that's one thing. But there's absolutely no reason to drag on Caitlin Clark for making the WNBA more popular. So, if you're upset with what I said, so be it. I really don't care. Drop a comment, yell at me, call me names. That's what we're here for. That's why America is so great, because I can say that and you can respond and we can have a conversation. And at the end of the day, I get to have my opinion and you get to have yours. And so obviously, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You can, if you really want to drag Caitlin Clark, you can, but I'm going to drag you for doing so. So with that being said, let's bring on producer Cy for trivia and talk about dragging some people. If I lose this trivia, we gonna have.
You're getting dragged. You're getting dragged.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to add they're actually getting double teamed if they start talking shit about Caitlin Clark. Big Caitlin Clark fan here myself. Got the
Oh, yeah.
got the Fever jersey. It's a tag team, and you're gonna lose.
Oh, we
But
tag teaming people. Okay.
damn straight we are. Come on now. But all right, trivia. So for those who don't know, it has been a couple weeks since we've been on. Our apologies. Consistency are our thing right now. But hey,
Hand up accountability run here.
hand up.
Hand up
Let's hand up.
accountability. Okay.
And
Yep.
we are accountable.
Yep.
We're accountable. Hey, we're here. We're here.
We out here.
We're back.
Okay.
MJ's trivia record is 1-2. He does have a win. Today, hopefully, we're gonna go 2-2, and we're gonna go back to a topic that you have already had and already lost at. Is we're gonna retest your knowledge on the MLB records as of today, May 29th.
Okay. I'll be better at this because I'm gonna write about the A's later. So I was looking at some stuff earlier. So hopefully
it's been a month. There has been changes since we last looked at these records.
I should be okay.
You should be okay. As
Maybe.
always,
Okay.
3-strike system. You got to guess 6 teams. Do you want to start AL or do you want to start NL or do you just want to
start NL because I know 2 of them off the top of my head.
Okay.
Dodgers.
Correct. They're up by 5.5 games in the NL West.
Dang. Yeah, they're always gonna do that. I mean, they have a rough April and then they just wax everybody.
They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're still 5.5 up on both the Padres and the Giants.
And then via some process of elimination, the Pirates and Reds never do anything. And I know both you and Jackson have been complaining about losing to the Brewers recently. So I'm going to assume that the Brewers are in first.
The Brewers are in first. The Cubs are 3.5 back, and the Cardinals are 4.5 back of the Brewers.
Okay.
So you have 2 of your 6 teams down already.
Okay. I'm going to give another shout out to my good friend Ryan Spader.
Nice. Good man.
Who is the big stats guy on Twitter. He and his friend Jack Fritz are big Phillies fans. And I saw him putting out some Phillies stats. And I want to say they're like 37 and something. So I'm going to go ahead and go Phillies in first.
Phillies are in first. You were 1 game off. They're 38-18, but they are 5 up on the Braves, who just lost Ronald Acuna for the year. So it is the Phillies division to lose.
Wait, Acuna's out for a year? What do you do?
Torres ACL, I believe.
Playing baseball?
Yep. Second time he's done it. Second or third time he's done it.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. Breaking news to you. That's not very breaking.
This is where I fall apart a little bit.
You got 3 strikes against 3 teams, though, so you should be okay.
One would hope.
One would hope.
Okay, we were talking about Juan Soto earlier, so give me Yankees.
Yankees are winning the AL East by 1.5 over the Orioles.
Okay, and then give me. This is where it really becomes a problem. I don't even remember who was in first place for these 2 divisions last time we talked about. Mariners in the West?
You would be correct. They're 3.5 up on the Rangers.
Really?
Yes.
Dang, imagine being the World Series champions, not even in first place in May. That's crazy.
They're actually sub 500 in May.
Who in the Central?
You got 3 strikes.
It could be anybody, brother.
You just got to start guessing teams, brother.
Okay, but it's anybody but the White Sox. Because the White Sox are horrible.
Yes,
so
really bad.
Tigers.
Tigers are in 4th place. That's 1
Okay.
strike. You have 2 strikes left.
So, I can't guess the 2 wrong teams.
Correct. So you cannot guess the 2 wrong teams.
Okay, so it's either Royals, Twins, or Guardians. Royals, Twins, Guardians. Give me the Twins.
Wrong. The Twins are in 3rd place. You have 1 strike and you're down to 2 teams. 3 teams technically, if you really wanted to spice it up. Just said the White Sox are winners, but we know that's not the case around here.
Do I really think that the Royals have gone They were one of the worst teams in baseball last year, right?
They were subpar, yes.
Do I think they've gone from subpar to first in their division going into June? I don't think so. But do I watch baseball like that to really know? No. I maybe know like 3 players on the Guardians.
Can you name me the 3 players? I'm just intrigued to see if you're actually right.
Jose Ramirez.
That is a player.
And that's really about where it ends.
You named 3. Awesome.
Jose Ramirez. Carlos Santana still there?
No.
No.
Carlos Santana is on the Twins.
What about? Oh yeah, he do be good. He kind of be hoeing around the AL Central. I'm not gonna lie. He kind of be going around everywhere. Corey Kluber.
Dude, Corey Kluber's retired from baseball.
Yeah, so last time I paid attention to baseball was like 2020. With that being said, I will go Guardians.
You are correct. The Guardians are in fact in first place, and they are 3.5 games up on the Kansas City Royals. The Guardians the Guardians and the Yankees have the same record.
What?
They are both 37 and 19. Well, actually, the Guardians are 37 and 18, but
yeah. So I know one Cleveland Guardians player.
Yep, you really know one Cleveland Guardians player.
Hold up? Let me pull up their roster. Do I even? I want to see if I even know, like, if it's a memory problem or if it's just a straight up knowledge problem.
It's gonna be a knowledge problem. I'm telling you that right now. You're not gonna know any of those people.
Okay, no, I know. Do I know 3? Maybe. I know. Oh, Carlos Carrasco is still there.
He just came back.
Dang. Okay, I know Carlos Carrasco. I know. I think I know Josh Naylor. That sounds familiar.
Yep, you should know Josh Naylor. He's been there a minute.
Austin Hedges sounds familiar.
Journeyman catcher.
Like a journeyman catcher. Yeah.
Okay.
Catcher. So I know 4.
Okay. Well, we'll give you the 4.
Yeah.
They're not the 4 names we expected, but there are 4 names.
No, not at all. Yeah, and I couldn't give you anything on anybody else on this roster. Maybe Logan Allen sounds familiar.
He's not as familiar as you think, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
25. Oh yeah, I definitely don't know you. I got nothing. Emmanuel Class A.
Class A.
One of the best. Are you good? Oh, he is good.
One of the best closers in all of MLB. Filthy Cutter, MLB The Show legend.
How long you been around? You been around long? Do I know you? Maybe. Oh yeah, he's been good for a little while. He sounds familiar. I'll go with 5. I know 5 players on that roster.
He sounds familiar. I'll go with 5.
Yeah, we'll go with a nice round 5.
Yes, we'll go with that round 5. But that don't matter because you're at talking about 5. You're at 500.
Ladies and gentlemen, we made it.
2-2. You're out the gutter.
I don't expect to stay there for long.
You could be a playoff team right now.
Hey, listen, we in the play-in, baby.
We are in the play-in. We can compete. We can work with this. Well, let's stay like this. Y'all just have to tune in next week. And I got to give you a professional segue. Baseball fans, it's a great day for us. We get to rejoice.
We do get to rejoice, Cy. And the reason we get to rejoice is everybody's least favorite man, Angel Hernandez, has officially retired from, I'm not even going to say umpiring because what he did for a living was not umpiring. It was stand there in an umpire's uniform and say stupid stuff. That's what Angel Hernandez did for a living. And I would like to preface this. I have nothing against Angel Hernandez as a person. I'm sure he's a great guy. sure he's got a family and friends that love him, right? We're not talking about Angel Hernandez as the person. We're talking about Angel Hernandez as the quote-unquote umpire, okay? And what Angel Hernandez did as an umpire was the equivalent of in Looney Tunes when Bugs Bunny would get hit over the head too hard and you would see the little stars go around his head. It was like Angel Hernandez lived on a baseball field with that animation going on above his head and then tried to officiate a Major League Baseball game where pitchers were throwing 100 miles an hour and tried to guess balls and strikes like it was some sort of graph on a middle school quiz. Like that's what Angel Hernandez was doing on a nightly basis. And the fact that every single person on social media yesterday said, thank goodness this man is gone. That was the one thing that united every fan base in Major League Baseball. Like, there could be nothing else that united Major League Baseball fans. Like, there are so many things that divide Major League Baseball fans. But Angel Hernandez retiring, which first and foremost, this is not retiring. This is him getting forced out of the game. Like, I hope everybody understands this. I don't think he really just unless there's something going on in the family life, which there may be, and I don't want to go there. Unless there's something going on in the family life, I think this guy got forced out of Major League Baseball by Major League Baseball. I really think that they just woke up and they were like, hey, I think Robbie Boy came on down to one of these games and said, hey, brother, I think it's time you go. You've made it. You get your pension. You get to go home, go to Cancun, go to Turks and Caicos and just say, hey, put your feet up. You've not done well, good and faithful servant. Like, there's no excuse for how bad Angel Hernandez was at watching a baseball. And I understand it's not easy. Like, I've umpired before, not for guys who threw 100 miles an hour. It's not easy. But to pretend that you're so good at it, and the amount of guys that Angel Hernandez threw out of games for calls that were just blatantly wrong. And then you wake up and say, yeah, I'm good at this. I'm really good at, like, get out of here. Because I am good at this. I hope. I really hope that it was just like a sudden epiphany for Angel Hernandez. Like, you know what? I do suck at this. I'm going to retire. If he really didn't get forced out, I hope he just woke up one day and was like, I really am horrible at the thing I've been doing for the last 30 years. I'm going to quit now. And again, I've got nothing against the guy as a person. You know, he may be a father, husband, whatever. I've got nothing against him as that. As an umpire, he was horrible. He was probably objectively one of the worst umpires in Major League history. And on the baseball field, he will not be missed. That's all I have to say. So yeah, with that being said, I believe that's all we've got for today's edition of the MJ Hurley Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to check out thirddownthursdays.com for more amazing content from TDT Media. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and tune in tomorrow for Third Down Thursdays with me, Coach Bruce, and the rest of the TDT Media gang for more fun and chaos. As always, thank you to Erie Insurance for sponsoring today's episode. And thank you to producer Cy for helping us out with trivia and hanging out in the background. My name is MJ Hurley. We will see you next week.